good afternoon, everybody. It's all Raptor Jesus, all host of Altered Games here. Hope the holiday season is finding you well. In today's episode, we're going to talk about this Braunstein module called Island of War by the Browser. It's actually a really interesting introduction to how to run a multiplayer, multi-objective PvP fog of war game, which can either be a campaign or it can be a really short game. It kind of depends, and all the guys of the Bro SR kind of go through in a step-by-step basis with a lot of really good essays from Jeffro and Crom and B-Dubs. Oh man, there's so many actually to mention that I'm just going to put all of their names in a comment down below, and I'll pin that so you guys can find all of their Twitters, and be sure that, you know, if you're going to meme on them, they're going to meme twice as hard, so you better be prepared for that, alright fellas? I warned you. So before we start to talk about Browser and the Island of War and Winter module, I thought we would get into kind of the founding fathers of role-playing games, in my opinion. And this is Dave Wesley, Dave Arneson, and Gary Gygax. Now there's others, of course, and I'm not here to start flame wars and arguments, but these guys have a direct line to just how like it all started originally. So David Wesley's important in my opinion because see, he was a war gamer for the Midwest Military Simulation Association back in '67, and they would play this 19th century war game Strategos, and also combine it with kind of a freak Kriegspiel type of gameplay, which was very dependent on each player giving the referee orders in a fog of war. They didn't know what the other player was doing until the referee decided the action. So, you know, and then set the stage essentially for a battle that took place, or maybe they both pass each other. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to create a multiplayer, multi-objective PvP fog of war game that was essentially on the eve of battle in a tiny German town in the 17th century called Braunstein, or Braunstein. Depends on how you're going to pronounce it, but I pronounce it Braunstein, so sue me. I don't have any money anyway. So basically what he did is he tricked the players into thinking that they were going to play this war game, and instead they were playing this kind of diplomacy style game where they all have goals to achieve before the end of the night. And the winner is kind of unusual. It's basically whoever achieved their goals is the winner. So there might be many winners or no winners. It sort of depends. Now, Dave Arneson, when Dave Wesley called in for Vietnam, Dave Arneson was one of his players. And so he took over the Braunsteins for him. And this is how like Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax start like forming Dungeons and Dragons, because they wanted to play their war games in the various like raiding their various castles and tombs and such as their like hero commanders. And Braunstein directly led to this because it started making these guys think of alternative ways that they wanted to play these games. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? So check out Dave Arneson's books Blackmore and My First Fantasy Campaign if you want to delve more in this kind of a history of Braunsteins and how you could apply this to actually playing D&D in a completely new and not really unique way, because this is how they used to play it, but it's something we didn't really understand. Now, Browser kind of pulls a lot of like what Arneson and his group did, so keep that in mind when you're looking at it. you know, is it isn't entirely unique, but it's lost to us until, you know, the bros kind of rediscovered it for us. Which is not, you know, putting them on a pedestal. Like, you can rediscover things too. There's, you know, there's plenty that we haven't really fully like uncovered with how these older guys played the game. You know, a lot of it gets twisted and lost over time. You know, and the only way to uncover it is to keep playing and experimenting, you know, within reason. You don't want to go off the cliff too much. So, you know, this book is actually really handy because it has all of these essays on how to run your first faction Braunstein, which this Jeff O. Johnson essay actually breaks it down into 3 different types of Braunsteins, which I think is extremely handy because not all of them's gonna fit your playstyle or your running style as a referee. It's completely new, and you'll feel like actually lost and that you did everything wrong, but that's totally fine. That's what happened to Dave Wesley the first time he ran one. He thought he did it all wrong and no one liked it, and then everyone started calling him for when the next one was. And that lays out an entire setting and all the factions that you can use for this game. It also has incredible artwork, in my opinion. I love this little guy. You just can't like get distracted with writing, especially when you got tiny hands. So it's actually I think it's important to read this if you want to try this kind of a early massively multiplayer game. Really reminds me of Mud. So I hope you guys have a good holiday, alright? I guess that's the rest of the video, fellas. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I hope you liked my video. If you want to see more of this stuff, please subscribe. I hope you guys have a good game next time you play, and keep your shield arm strong, alright?